guests and friends. Welcome to the Altruism for Everyone workshop. Glad to see that everyone is so enthusiastic. Today we will be covering what altruism is, how it benefits us, and some practices we can take. So firstly, let's start by defining altruism. What is altruism? Altruism is unselfish behavior intended to benefit others. What motivates us to take altruistic behavior? Let's start with a quick question. How many of you have empathized with someone recently? That's great. Empathy is often considered to be the motivation for altruistic behavior. So why is altruistic behavior important to us? Firstly, altruism is believed to be the process which regulates our emotions. For empathy without altruistic behavior may cause us to have negative effects. Additionally, altruism has other benefits as well. Altruism is also linked to other positive outcomes, including well-being. So now let's take a look at a short video to see some of the underlying theories and mechanisms.
Welcome to today's class on altruism and its theories and mechanisms. When explaining altruism, there are two main theories to consider: the evolutionary perspective and the empathy-altruism relationship. Helping behavior can be puzzling when we consider that it involves incurring a cost for the helper while conferring benefit on the recipient. Evolutionary biologists attempt to account for this through two ways. Firstly, kin selection explains that self-sacrificing altruism can perpetuate the helper's genes if the benefited recipient shares some of their genes by common descent. Alternatively, individuals who are helped are likely to reciprocate the help later, such as through the sharing of resources. Several evidence support this perspective. Firstly, Wellbeing's study showed that infants displayed spontaneous, unrewarded helping. The internalization of altruistic norms is not applicable, and imitation was not possible as infants in an earlier experiment could not model such behaviors. Extrinsic rewards also undermined altruistic behaviors. In the same paper, Wellbeing showed the same infant altruistic behaviors in chimpanzees, and rewards were found to be unnecessary. The fact that both humans and chimpanzees altruistically help others indicates a basic altruistic tendency emerged in human evolution pre-culturally before social groups created altruistic norms. Altruistic cognitive biases were also noted where people underestimate the value of the help they provide relative to the help received. This creates feelings of indebtedness that elicit and maintain helping. Secondly, as closeness between the helper and recipient increased, judged benefit to recipient increases while judged cost to helper decreases for the exact same behavior. Lastly, specific brain regions, the right PSTC, was found to be predictive of self-reported altruism. These two findings suggest biological underpinnings for acts of altruism. However, evolutionary theories typically fail to account for the anonymous helping of strangers. That brings us to empathy and altruism. The perception-action mechanism posits that empathic capacity allows observers to access the subjective states of others. When observers attend to another state, the observer's neural representations of similar states are automatically and unconsciously activated. This can work through emotional contagion or empathic perspective taking. Empathically aroused individuals may also feel empathic joy at learning the other's need has been relieved and thus be motivated to help. Indeed, increased empathy was predictive of increased altruistic behaviors in an economic gain, and a high rate of helping remained even when people could easily escape from the situation. That said, the empathy-altruism relationship has produced mixed findings within literature, with some researchers finding strong associations while others report none. That's all for today, and we'll see you next time.
So hope you enjoyed the video. So now, how do people across different cultures and religion perceive altruism? How does it factor in their daily lives? Let's open it to the floor.
Maybe I could share. So in Islam, we have a concept that's similar to altruism called ithar, and it means to give preference to somebody's needs and welfare over your own. So this notion of ithar comes from teaching that humankind is God's creation, and to care selflessly for God's creation suggests caring for God. So engaging in ithar or altruistic behavior aids one in fulfilling their religious obligations as a Muslim and to attain blessings to enter paradise.
I can share as well. In Hinduism, we believe in the concept of karma. So the more good we do for others in the world, the more likely we are going to be blessed. So when we're altruistic, we're more likely to be blessed with improved living conditions, and engaging in altruism will lead to eventual swargam, or sort of a life without an afterlife. So some people think that the concept of karma makes us less altruistic because we believe that one's bad actions leads them to be underprivileged, but that's not the case, because in order for us to have like a better, more successful life, we have to also be kind to other people, and this will also benefit us in the long term.
So to add on to Divya, so actually in Buddhism, compassion and altruism are also actually integral parts of Buddhist teachings. We actually pray in reverence to the Buddha and his teachings. We seek to liberate all beings from suffering. So we also believe that the best offering we can give is actually to practice the Buddha's teachings in our lives to benefit ourselves and others. So for example, in Mahayana Buddhism, which is the branch of Buddhism that's practiced mainly in East Asia, we actually commonly pray to bodhisattvas such as the Kuan Yin, as we reveal their virtues and commit ourselves to emulating their qualities of loving kindness, compassion, empathetic joy, and equanimity for the benefit of all beings. So we believe that actually practicing the bodhisattvas virtues in our lives will actually help us to alleviate the sufferings of others around us.
Thank you for all of your sharings. So now, let's take a look at how religion and altruism affects us through positive psychology.
In this quick video, I will be talking briefly about religion, altruism, and well-being. To begin with, most major religions across the world place importance in altruism as a moral value. Therefore, people with stronger belief in their religion are shown to be more altruistic. For example, a reliable, positive correlation has been shown between religious commitment and altruistic behavior. So what has all this got to do with well-being? Well, evidence shows that greater religious commitment correlates with greater subjective well-being. Studies suggest that this could be because people with stronger beliefs carry out the teachings in their religion more faithfully, and thus are able to positively evaluate their lives given their sense of connection with a higher being and their community. From the above, we could theorize that these people are more likely to perform altruistic acts because of their religious commitment. Then, from these acts, feel more socially connected, which enables them to further evaluate their lives positively, leading to a positive cycle.
Thank you. Hope that you enjoyed the video. Now let's take a break and reconvene for our next activity. Welcome back. Let's continue from where we left off. So no doubt altruism has benefits to us, some of which also relate back to positive psychology. For example, altruism can help us to have increased mood and positive affect. It allows us to have greater social integration. It allows us to have enhanced meaning in life. However, this assumes that we are doing altruism in moderation and that without sufficient emotional regulation, it is possible that too much altruistic behavior can lead to emotional burnout. So, there are some methods which help us to engage in positive altruism while also addressing emotional burnout. So here's a question to the floor. Does anybody know what is loving kindness meditation?
Yes, may I answer?
Yes, please.
Okay, so it's a kind of meditation that actually allows us to practice kindness and compassion for ourselves and others. So actually we do it not by being motivated by accomplishing any goal, but actually we do so to dedicate selfless love towards ourselves and others.
Wow, that is an excellent answer. So it seems that you also know quite a bit about loving kindness meditation. This will be a great opportunity for us to have some hands-on activity. So perhaps we can invite Kaipan to take the stage to lead us through some loving kindness meditation. Kaipan, please.
First, close your eyes and then relax your whole body.
Feel the sensations of your body and your breathing. Allow your mind to imagine someone who has been nice to you recently. Imagine this person and allow whatever feelings associated with this person come to mind. You may notice that you are beginning to smile. You might feel warmth in your body. Whatever thoughts or feelings you are experiencing, allow them to come and be felt. You may want to acknowledge in your mind the positive feelings you have for this person. Now, imagine yourself. Try to offer loving kindness to yourself. This may be difficult to do, but give yourself patience and time. Begin to pay attention to any feelings you're experiencing in the present moment and let them be. Feel the words as you take a deep breath in and out. When you're ready, you may open your eyes.
Alright, now that we've done the activity, how do you feel after the loving kindness meditation?
I feel much calmer and more relaxed, and I feel like I've done something good.
I'm a regular meditator, but I think that this practice is quite different from what I do in my religion. So when I do meditation, I'm usually focusing on my breath or the sound of the mantras. But over here, this invited me to practice thinking about other people. So I think this makes me feel different because it's like opening up to receiving and giving love.
I actually feel more in touch with my capacity to actually be kind to myself and to other people. So actually, like Justin shared, engaging in altruism without emotional regulation can actually lead to negative consequences for ourselves. So actually, the loving kindness meditation has actually helped me to remember to exercise both compassion for myself and as well as to the people around me.
That's great. I hear all of you. So now you may be feeling calmer, more relaxed, because part of how LKM helps to increase happiness is by increasing one's connectedness to others, including friends, family, even others who we may not have met yet. It can also reduce people's focus on themselves, which can in turn lower symptoms for depression and anxiety. This practice is also a positive intervention because it strengthens both hedonistic and eudaimonic well-being. It cultivates positive emotions, behaviors, and thoughts, and it can build strengths and well-being over time. So now that we have practiced altruism in a hands-on activity, let's take a look at how altruism relates us to others through social connectedness. Divya, please.
Well, usually we want to be altruistic and helpful to others, but we don't because we're all busy and we're not reminded of how important connection is. So first I thought we could practice reminders of connection over here, and then after that we can share how we can practice that in our own homes.
So how do we practice it?
We begin by looking around at an environment. So you notice what objects and images surround you and see how each image can remind you of connectedness. For example, if you have an empty bookshelf and there's nothing on top of the bookshelf, what you can do is you can take a picture and you can place it on the bookshelf of somebody special to you. Okay, so that sort of reminds you of that person and reminds you of your connectedness, and it reminds us as humans how connected we all are to each other.
Oh, so if I change my wallpaper on my phone to that of my girlfriend, would that be a reminder of connectedness?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. So when we are reminded of our connection, we are kinder to other people. So our relationship around us and the world around us we can become more altruistic because we are reminded of other people living in the world with us. So now with this, let's look at how altruism and positive relationships are linked. So now I'll be talking about altruism and how it benefits us. Since altruism is an unselfish act that is usually other-oriented, the basis of altruism is social connectedness. Thus, altruism is deeply intertwined with building positive relationships. So for this part, I will be talking about this mechanism as well as how altruism fosters positive relationships. Studies show a correlation between altruistic acts and one's likability or popularity. That means that those who are altruistic are likely to be more well-liked and better adjusted in society. However, the direction of causation is a little difficult to determine. This is because you could also be well-liked by your peers, leading you to feel an increased social obligation to be altruistic towards them. So in class, we learned that positive relationships and happiness were linked in a loop. And it could also be the case that altruism moderates this relationship because altruism is linked to increased likability and popularity, which could then lead to increased well-being and happiness levels. Furthermore, studies show that those who were more altruistic were also less likely to be socially excluded and were less likely to be aggressive as well. Thus, the benefits of altruism extend to building positive relationships, reducing aggression, and increased well-being. And with that, I would like to conclude. Thank you.
We are coming to the end of the Altruism for Everyone workshop. Here is a question for you to consider. Think about the last time you experienced altruism, either as a benefactor or beneficiary, and describe how you think altruism might play a part in your overall well-being. Thank you.